Maya and Arif woke up early that morning, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. Today was the day they had been planning for months. Their wedding was not just an important day for them, but also a way to bring their families and friends together. Maya looked at herself in the mirror, adjusting her simple white dress. She smiled as she thought about the journey that had brought her to this day. Arif, standing by the window, took a deep breath. His hands were a little shaky, but his heart was full of joy. He wanted everything to be perfect for Maya. The couple had chosen a small community hall in their town for the ceremony. It was a modest place, but it felt warm and welcoming. Friends and relatives were already arriving, carrying flowers, gifts, and big smiles. Children ran around excitedly, laughing and playing. The hall was decorated with colorful ribbons and bright flowers. Everyone could feel the happiness in the air. Maya's mother helped her with her veil while whispering encouragement. "You look beautiful, Maya. Today is your day. Enjoy every moment." Maya nodded and hugged her mother. Arif's father came forward with a big smile. "You are going to make each other very happy," he said. Arif nodded, feeling proud and grateful for his family's support. Outside the hall, the sun was shining brightly. The sky was clear and blue. Birds chirped in the trees, adding a cheerful sound to the morning. Everyone was excited, talking and laughing as they waited for the ceremony to begin. The air was filled with happiness, and it seemed as if the whole town was celebrating with Maya and Arif, but not everyone was happy that morning. Mr. Thompson, who lived next door to the hall, was frowning as he looked through his window. He did not like change, and he did not like seeing people from different backgrounds being happy together. When he saw the decorations and the crowd, he felt angry and suspicious. In his mind, something about the wedding was wrong. He did not stop to think about the joy and love that was being shared. Instead, Mr. Thompson went inside his house and picked up his phone. He called the police and spoke quickly, telling them that there was a suspicious gathering at the hall. His voice was sharp and worried, but it was clear that his concern was not for safety. It was because he did not like what he saw. Meanwhile, Maya and Arif were completely unaware of what was happening next door. Inside the hall, the atmosphere was filled with laughter and happiness. Guests were greeting each other warmly. Cousins shared funny stories about Maya and Arif, making everyone laugh. Friends were taking pictures and helping with small last-minute preparations. The children ran around scattering flower petals and giggling. Everyone was busy celebrating the love of Maya and Arif. The couple stood together at the front of the hall holding hands. Maya looked at Arif and smiled. "I can't believe this day is finally here," she said softly. Arif squeezed her hand. "It feels perfect. Everything is just as I imagined," he replied. They both felt a mix of joy and excitement. This day was theirs, and they wanted to make every moment memorable. As the ceremony time approached, more guests arrived. People who had traveled from other towns joined the celebration. Everyone brought something special: food, gifts, or kind words. The atmosphere became even more lively. Music played softly in the background, adding a sense of happiness to the room. Maya and Arif took a moment to look around, feeling grateful for all the support and love surrounding them. Little did they know, a few streets away, Mr. Thompson was waiting for the police. He believed he was about to stop something wrong, but he could not see the truth. The wedding was full of love, respect, and joy. Nothing about it was illegal or harmful. Maya and Arif were simply celebrating their love, and the people around them were happy to share in it. The sun continued to rise, shining on the hall, making the flowers brighter and the ribbons glimmer. Inside, Maya and Arif felt calm, excited, and full of hope for the future. They could not yet imagine the small challenge awaiting them, but they were ready to face everything together. Their hearts were full, and this day would always be remembered as the beginning of a new journey in their lives. While Maya and Arif were busy enjoying the morning, Mr. Thompson had already dialed the police. He spoke quickly, describing the wedding as a suspicious gathering and insisting that it needed attention. His tone was sharp, and he made it sound urgent. He described the crowd, the decorations, and even the music, trying to make it seem like something was wrong. In truth, he only felt uncomfortable because the wedding included people he did not know well and did not like. Back at the hall, Maya and Arif's families were preparing for the ceremony. The air was filled with excitement and chatter. Maya's aunt arranged flowers in vases, making sure every table looked perfect. Arif's cousin was helping set up chairs for the guests. Children ran around, holding small bouquets, giggling and laughing. Everyone was in high spirits. Maya adjusted her dress one more time and looked at herself in the mirror. She could see the happiness in her own eyes. Today was more than a wedding. It was a moment to celebrate love and family, to bring everyone together in joy. Arif stood nearby, straightening his tie and taking deep breaths to calm his nerves. He smiled when he saw Maya, knowing that this day had been worth all the planning and preparation. Outside, the sun was bright and warm. Birds flew across the sky, singing in the trees. The gentle breeze carried the scent of flowers and freshly cut grass. The community hall, with its decorations and laughter, seemed like a small paradise. Guests continued to arrive, offering warm greetings and excited smiles. Everyone seemed happy to be part of this special day. Inside, the laughter and chatter filled the hall. Friends shared stories about how Maya and Arif had met, and everyone laughed at funny moments from their past. Cousins played games with children, who ran from one side of the hall to the other, spreading joy and energy. Arif's uncle brought out a basket of small gifts for the children, making them even more excited. The atmosphere was full of warmth and love. Suddenly, the sound of a car engine broke through the joyful noise outside. A police car had arrived. The officers stepped out, looking serious and focused. Guests paused and whispered among themselves, wondering why the police were at the wedding. Maya's mother felt her heart beat faster, but she stayed calm. Arif's father greeted the officers politely, hiding any worry. The officers walked through the entrance and looked around. Their expressions were serious, but they could not ignore the obvious happiness in the hall. People were smiling, children were playing, and the decorations made everything bright and cheerful. The officers exchanged glances, realizing that something did not match the complaint they had received. Maya noticed the officers and smiled gently. She walked toward them and said, "Hello, officers. How can we help you?" Arif stepped beside her and added, "This is our wedding. Everyone here is invited, and we are just celebrating our love with family and friends." The officers looked surprised but polite. Guests began explaining the situation. One friend said, "There is no problem here. We are all invited, and this is just a normal wedding celebration." Another guest added, "It is full of happiness. Nothing illegal is happening." The officers listened carefully, taking notes. It was clear that the call was based on misunderstanding, not on any real danger or problem. Maya and Arif remained calm, showing respect to the officers while still enjoying their day. They understood that some people might not be comfortable with differences or change. Still, they did not let it affect their celebration. They focused on their love and the happiness of their families. As the officers asked a few more questions, the guests continued their preparations. Music played softly, flowers were arranged, and chairs were set neatly. The atmosphere stayed lively and joyful, showing that nothing could ruin the happiness in the hall. Maya and Arif held hands and smiled at each other, feeling proud of how calm and composed they had stayed. The sun continued to shine, brightening the hall and making the colors of the decorations even more beautiful. The gentle breeze carried the laughter and music outside, giving the world a glimpse of the love and unity inside. Maya and Arif knew that today was not only about their wedding. It was about showing respect, patience, and understanding, even when faced with unnecessary challenges. By the time the officers were ready to leave, it was clear that there was nothing wrong. The couple had remained graceful and calm, turning what could have been a stressful moment into a story of patience and love. The wedding continued without interruption, and the guests felt even happier knowing that Maya and Arif could handle everything with dignity. The police officers had stepped inside the community hall, and everyone paused for a moment. Guests whispered quietly, unsure why the officers were there. Maya held Arif's hand tightly, trying to stay calm while feeling a little nervous. Arif took a deep breath, reminding himself that their wedding was a celebration of love, and that nothing could ruin it. The officers looked around the hall, taking in the decorations, the flowers, and the smiling faces. They expected to see something wrong, but instead they saw joy and laughter everywhere. Children ran across the room carrying small bouquets, and the elders were talking politely, sharing memories and smiling at the couple. The hall was full of warmth and energy, the exact opposite of what the complaint had suggested. One officer cleared his throat and asked politely, "Excuse me, are we attending a wedding?" Maya smiled brightly and nodded. "Yes, sir. This is our wedding. Everyone here is invited and we are just celebrating with our family and friends. Arif stepped forward, adding, "We did not mean to disturb anyone. We just want to enjoy this special day together." The officers exchanged glances, realizing that Mr. Thompson's complaint had been unnecessary. They had expected a gathering that seemed suspicious or secretive, but what they found was a simple, joyful wedding filled with love. One officer smiled slightly, while the other maintained a polite expression, still professional but showing signs of relief. Guests began explaining more about the wedding. Arif's cousin said, "This is a small celebration for our families. Everyone was invited. Nothing here is unusual." A family friend added, "We all know each other in town and this is a happy occasion. There is no problem." The officers nodded, listening carefully and writing notes, realizing that the complaint was caused by misunderstanding rather than any real issue. Maya took a moment to walk around and greet the officers politely. She introduced them to some of the family members, showing that everyone was friendly and welcoming. Arif stood nearby, smiling proudly at Maya's calm and graceful approach. He knew that handling the situation with patience would make the day more memorable for the right reasons. The couple's families continued with the preparations, making sure that the ceremony could start smoothly. Maya's mother adjusted the flowers while Arif's father checked the seating arrangements. The children kept playing, laughing, and enjoying the excitement. Even with the officers present, the wedding felt warm, cheerful, and full of life. One officer asked softly, "So, both of you come from different backgrounds?" Maya nodded politely. "Yes, sir. I moved here a few years ago and Arif has lived in this town his whole life. We are just two people in love celebrating with our families." The officer smiled, understanding the situation more clearly. He could see that some people, like Mr. Thompson, might be uncomfortable with change, but that did not mean there was any problem here. The other officer asked a few more questions, and Maya and Arif answered them calmly, showing respect and patience. Their polite and composed behavior impressed the officers. Guests noticed how confident and dignified the couple remained despite the unexpected interruption. It was a quiet but important lesson about handling challenges with grace. As the conversation ended, the officers nodded politely. "Thank you for explaining everything," one of them said. "We understand now. Enjoy your day." The officers left the hall with smiles and good wishes. Guests cheered quietly, happy that the wedding could continue without further interruptions. Maya and Arif exhaled, feeling relief and happiness. After the officers left, the atmosphere in the hall became even more cheerful. Music played softly and the guests resumed their conversations and laughter. Children continued to run around, spreading energy and excitement. Friends and family gathered closer to the couple, offering hugs, kind words, and congratulations. The small challenge had only strengthened the sense of unity in the room. Maya and Arif looked at each other, holding hands and smiling. "Nothing can ruin our happiness today," Maya whispered. Arif nodded. "We faced it calmly and now we can enjoy every moment of our special day." Their hearts were full, knowing that love, patience, and understanding had overcome the tension. The sun continued to shine through the windows, casting warm light on the flowers, ribbons, and smiling faces. It felt like nature itself was celebrating with them. Maya and Arif were ready to continue their wedding ceremony, knowing that this day would be remembered not for any complaint, but for the love, joy, and unity that surrounded them. After the police officers left, a sense of relief filled the community hall. Maya and Arif felt their hearts lighten. The tension that had briefly interrupted the happiness of the day was gone, and the celebration could continue. Guests smiled and whispered quietly, commenting on how calm and graceful the couple had been when faced with unexpected visitors. The warmth and joy returned stronger than before. Maya adjusted her veil and looked around the hall. Friends and family were busy preparing for the next part of the ceremony. Tables were neatly arranged, chairs were straightened, and the music played softly in the background. The children continued to run around, carrying flowers and laughing. Maya smiled as she watched them, feeling that their innocent happiness reflected the love surrounding everyone in the room. Arif stood beside her, taking her hand in his. "We handled that well," he said quietly. Maya nodded. "Yes, and now we can fully enjoy this day. Nothing will take away our happiness." Their eyes met, and for a moment the busy hall seemed to fade away. They felt calm and grateful, knowing that they were surrounded by people who cared deeply for them. The guests began to gather in small groups, talking and sharing stories about Maya and Arif. Some spoke about how they had first met the couple and the many ways they had supported each other over the years. Laughter echoed through the hall as funny memories were shared, and smiles spread across everyone's faces. Even the shyest guests joined in, enjoying the lively and friendly atmosphere. Maya's mother brought out a tray of refreshments, and the guests paused to enjoy the drinks and snacks. The room was filled with gentle chatter, punctuated by the occasional burst of laughter. Everyone seemed to forget the earlier disturbance, focusing instead on the joy of the wedding. Maya and Arif moved through the room, greeting each guest warmly and thanking them for being there. Their calm and polite behavior continued to impress everyone. As the ceremony approached, the couple prepared to take their seats at the front of the hall. Arif straightened his tie and brushed a small wrinkle from his jacket, while Maya adjusted the flowers in her hair. The music shifted to a soft, cheerful tune, signaling the start of the official ceremony. Guests settled into their seats, eager to witness the moment when Maya and Arif would exchange their vows. Maya looked at Arif and smiled. "This is the moment we have been waiting for," she whispered. Arif squeezed her hand gently. "Yes, and it will be perfect. Everyone here is with us, and that is all that matters." Their faces were bright with happiness and calm determination. They felt ready to take the next step together, knowing that their love and patience had carried them through the day so far. The officiant, a kind and gentle person who knew both families well, stepped forward. He welcomed everyone and spoke briefly about love, respect, and the importance of family and community. His words were simple but meaningful, reminding everyone of the true purpose of the day. The guests listened attentively, nodding and smiling in agreement. Maya and Arif exchanged glances, their eyes full of emotion. They knew that the day was not just about a ceremony. It was about the people who had come together to celebrate them. Friends, family, and neighbors had all contributed to the joy and love that filled the room. The minor interruption from earlier had faded into a memory, leaving only warmth and unity. As the couple began their vows, the room grew quiet. Every word they spoke was heartfelt and sincere. They promised to support each other, respect each other, and always put their love first. Guests watched with smiles and gentle tears in their eyes, feeling the deep bond between the two. The ceremony was simple, but it was full of meaning, creating a memory that everyone would treasure. After the vows, applause and cheers filled the hall. Maya and Arif held hands, feeling the love and support of everyone around them. Their hearts were full, and the earlier worry seemed like a distant thought. The day was unfolding beautifully, proving that patience, kindness, and love could overcome any challenge. After the ceremony, Maya and Arif walked together to the center of the hall, smiling at their friends and family. The room was filled with warmth and excitement. Everyone wanted to congratulate the couple and share their happiness. Guests approached them with gifts, kind words, and big smiles. Maya and Arif thanked each person with grace, feeling the love and support from everyone around them. Maya's younger cousin tugged at her dress and whispered, "You look so happy, Maya." Maya laughed softly and knelt down to hug the child. "I am happy. Today is the best day of my life," she said. Arif smiled at the scene, feeling grateful for the families and friends who had come together to celebrate. Every small moment felt meaningful, from the laughter of children to the gentle conversations of elders. Meanwhile, outside the hall, Mr. Thompson watched silently from his window. He had not expected to see such happiness. The police officers had left, and the couple's celebration continued peacefully. He could hear laughter and music, and for the first time that day he felt a quiet unease. He had tried to interrupt the wedding, but nothing had been disturbed. The joy and unity inside the hall were stronger than any complaint he had made. Back inside, the guests began taking photos with Maya and Arif. Cameras clicked, and phones captured smiles and laughter. The couple posed for pictures with family members, friends, and children. Every photo reflected the happiness of the day. Maya's eyes sparkled as she saw everyone enjoying themselves, and Arif felt proud to be standing beside her. This day was a true celebration of love and togetherness. Arif's uncle brought forward a small tray of refreshments and snacks. Guests gathered to enjoy them, chatting happily and sharing stories. The room was lively, filled with the sound of laughter and friendly voices. Maya and Arif moved through the crowd, making sure they spoke to each guest and shared a kind word. They wanted everyone to feel appreciated for being part of their special day. The couple's families began preparing for the next part of the celebration. Music was adjusted and a small area was set up for dancing. Maya's mother arranged the flowers on the tables, while Arif's father made sure that everyone had a seat and was comfortable. Guests helped wherever they could, creating a sense of teamwork and joy. Even the smallest acts, like helping children or arranging chairs, added to the happiness of the day. One of the police officers called later to apologize for the earlier misunderstanding. Maya and Arif received the call with calm and kindness. "It is okay," Maya said softly. "We understand. Thank you for your concern, but everything is fine now." The gesture showed the couple's grace and patience. They were determined to focus only on the positive moments of their wedding. As the afternoon progressed, the music grew louder and more cheerful. Guests began to gather in small groups to dance and celebrate. Children ran around, laughing and playing games. Elders clapped their hands in rhythm to the music, smiling at the lively scene. Maya and Arif joined in, dancing together for the first time as a married couple. Their smiles were wide, and their hearts felt full of happiness and love. The couple paused for a moment, looking around at everyone enjoying the celebration. Arif whispered to Maya, "Look at them. Everyone is so happy for us," and Maya nodded, feeling grateful. Yes, this is more than a wedding. It is about family, friends, and love. They held hands tightly, knowing that their bond was strengthened not only by their vows but also by the support and unity of everyone around them. As the sun began to shine through the windows, casting a golden glow over the hall, Maya and Arif realized that their wedding had turned into something even more special than they had imagined. The earlier tension from the police visit had faded completely, leaving only love, joy, and celebration. The couple smiled at each other, knowing that this day would be remembered not for any complaint but for the happiness, kindness, and togetherness that filled every corner of the room. As the afternoon continued, Maya and Arif's wedding grew even more lively. Guests laughed, danced, and shared stories about the couple. Children ran in circles holding small flowers and playing games, while adults clapped to the rhythm of the music. The community hall was filled with warmth, joy, and excitement. Every corner seemed alive with celebration, showing how much love and support surrounded the newlyweds. Maya and Arif walked hand in hand, greeting each guest with smiles and kind words. Each interaction reminded them of the journey they had taken to reach this day. They felt grateful for their families, friends, and even neighbors who had come to celebrate their love. Every smile and word of encouragement added to the happiness that already filled the room. Maya's little cousin ran up to her with a small bouquet of flowers. "For you, Maya," she said shyly. Maya knelt down and accepted the bouquet with a gentle smile. "Thank you. This is beautiful," she said. The child's face lit up with pride and joy, and Arif chuckled at the sweet moment. It was these small, simple acts that made the day unforgettable. Meanwhile, some guests approached the couple with gifts and cards. Each gift was received with gratitude, and Maya and Arif made sure to thank everyone personally. They spoke kindly and politely, making everyone feel appreciated and welcomed. The couple knew that this day was not only about their love, but also about the people who had supported them along the way. As the sun shone through the windows, the music grew louder, and the celebration became more energetic. Guests began to form a circle for dancing. Children joined in enthusiastically, their laughter mixing with the sound of music. Elders clapped their hands in rhythm, smiling and enjoying the scene. Everyone participated, showing unity and happiness in a way that made the wedding feel even more special. Maya and Arif took a moment to stand together in the center of the hall, watching their families and friends enjoying themselves. Maya whispered, "Look at them, Arif. Everyone is so happy." Arif nodded, feeling proud and thankful. "Yes, this is everything we hoped for. It is more than a wedding. It is love, joy, and unity all in one place," he said. Their eyes met and they shared a quiet smile, knowing that they had created something beautiful together. At that moment, one of Arif's cousins brought out a small tray of refreshments. Guests paused from dancing and laughing to enjoy the snacks and drinks. Conversations flowed easily as people shared stories and caught up with each other. The wedding was not just about the couple. It had become a gathering of love, support, and friendship. Everyone felt included and welcomed. Maya's mother arranged the flowers on the tables again, making sure everything looked perfect. Arif's father helped children with small games and encouraged them to participate in the celebration. The sense of teamwork and community was strong. Even the smallest acts, like helping each other or sharing a laugh, added to the happiness of the day. Later, Maya and Arif's attention turned to the cake. It was large, colorful, and beautifully decorated. Everyone gathered around as the couple prepared to cut it. Cameras clicked and guests cheered. Maya and Arif cut the cake together, laughing and smiling. The simple act felt special because it symbolized unity and togetherness. The celebration continued smoothly, with everyone enjoying the music, food, and company. Maya and Arif moved through the hall, talking to each guest and expressing their gratitude. The day had started with a small challenge, but it had transformed into a perfect celebration of love, patience, and understanding. As the afternoon turned to evening, Maya and Arif looked around the hall and felt a deep sense of contentment. Their hearts were full of joy, and the minor tension from earlier had faded completely. They knew that this day would always be remembered not for a complaint or worry, but for the love, unity, and happiness that filled every corner of the hall. The sun began to lower in the sky, casting a warm golden glow through the windows of the community hall. Maya and Arif stood together, holding hands and smiling, feeling the love that surrounded them. Guests continued to laugh, talk, and enjoy the celebration, creating an atmosphere full of warmth and joy. Every person there seemed happy to be part of this special day. Maya's mother approached her with a gentle smile. "You look so happy, Maya. Today is perfect," she said. Maya nodded, her eyes shining. "It really is, Mother. Everyone is so kind, and I feel so blessed." Arif stood beside her, placing his hand on her shoulder. "We worked hard to make today beautiful, and seeing everyone so happy makes it even better," he said softly. The children were still playing, carrying small flowers and laughing loudly. Their innocent excitement brought smiles to everyone's faces. One little boy ran up to Arif and handed him a handmade card. Arif knelt down and accepted it warmly. "Thank you. This is wonderful," he said. The boy beamed with pride before running back to play with his friends. Moments like these made the day feel even more special. As the celebration continued, the couple's friends suggested a group activity to involve everyone. They started a simple game of sharing favorite memories about Maya and Arif. Guests took turns talking about the couple's kindness, humor, and care for others. Laughter filled the hall as people recalled funny or heartwarming stories. Maya and Arif listened carefully, smiling and sometimes laughing along. It was a reminder of the many ways their love had touched the lives of those around them. Arif's aunt brought out a large tray of snacks and drinks for everyone. Guests paused to enjoy the refreshments, chatting happily and appreciating the thoughtful gesture. The community hall was filled with gentle chatter, laughter, and music. Everyone seemed completely absorbed in the joy of the celebration. Maya and Arif moved among the guests, thanking each person for attending and making them feel part of the special day. Maya noticed a few guests taking photos, capturing the happiness in every corner of the hall. She smiled at the sight. "These memories will last forever," she whispered to Arif. Arif nodded. "Yes, and every picture will remind us of the love and support we felt today." They both looked around, taking in the laughter, the smiles, and the warmth that filled the room. Later, Maya's cousin suggested a small dance for the couple. Friends and family gathered around to watch as Maya and Arif moved to the rhythm of the music. Their steps were simple, but their smiles were radiant. Guests clapped along, some joining in the dance, making it a joyful and lively moment. The couple felt the happiness of everyone around them, strengthening the bond they shared. As the evening progressed, the couple prepared to cut the wedding cake. The cake was large, colorful, and beautifully decorated. Guests gathered around, eager to see the moment. Cameras clicked and phones captured the smiles. Maya and Arif cut the cake together, laughing and feeding each other small pieces. The moment was simple yet full of meaning, symbolizing unity, togetherness, and the joy of sharing life with one another. Even with the small interruption earlier in the day, the wedding had turned into a perfect celebration of love and community. Maya and Arif realized that patience, kindness, and grace had transformed a potential challenge into a story of happiness. Their guests admired the couple's calm and positive attitude, feeling inspired by the way they handled everything with dignity. As the day slowly turned to evening, Maya and Arif took a moment to stand together and look around the hall. The golden light from the sun highlighted the decorations, the smiling faces, and the joyful energy. They held hands tightly, knowing that this day would remain in their hearts forever. The wedding had become more than a ceremony. It was a celebration of love, patience, and unity. Maya whispered softly to Arif, "This day is perfect because of everyone here and because of us." Arif nodded, smiling. "Yes, we faced a small challenge, and now look at this. Everything is brighter and happier than we imagined." Their hearts were full, knowing that the love they shared and the support of their friends and family had made their wedding unforgettable. As the evening deepened, the golden sunlight faded, leaving the hall bathed in soft, warm lights. Maya and Arif stood together, holding hands and looking around. Their hearts were full of joy, and the happiness in the room was stronger than ever. Guests continued to laugh, share stories, and dance, creating an atmosphere of love and celebration that seemed to stretch beyond the walls of the hall. Maya smiled at Arif. "This day has been more beautiful than I imagined," she said softly. Arif nodded, looking around at the faces of friends and family. "Yes, everything has been perfect. The love and support here make it unforgettable," he replied. Together, they felt the quiet satisfaction of knowing that their wedding had become a true celebration. Despite the small challenges earlier in the day, the children ran around, carrying small flowers and gifts, giggling and playing games. Their laughter filled the hall, making the moment feel lively and magical. Maya knelt down to speak to a little girl who had been shy earlier. "You look so happy," she said. The girl's face lit up with a big smile. "I love weddings," she whispered. Maya hugged her gently, feeling the innocence and joy of the children around her. Arif's father called the couple to the center of the hall. He raised his hands and said, "Everyone, let's give Maya and Arif our best wishes for a happy life together." Guests cheered, clapped, and smiled. The couple turned to face their families, feeling the depth of love and care surrounding them. It was a moment that reminded them of why this day had been so important, not for any ceremony, but for the people who made it special. The couple's friends brought out a small tray of sweets and drinks. Everyone gathered to enjoy the treats, chatting and laughing together. The hall was filled with warmth and unity. People who had not known each other well before began talking, sharing stories, and forming new bonds. The wedding had become a celebration not only of Maya and Arif's love, but also of friendship and community. Maya and Arif took a quiet moment to walk around the hall together. They smiled and waved to guests, thanking them personally for being part of their day. Every handshake, every hug, and every kind word reminded them of the support and happiness that surrounded them. Their hearts felt light, and they knew that the day would stay in their memories forever. Later, it was time for the couple to cut the wedding cake. The cake was beautiful, decorated with fresh flowers and bright colors. Guests gathered around and cameras clicked as Maya and Arif cut the first piece together. They fed each other small slices of cake, laughing and smiling. The moment was simple yet full of meaning. It symbolized sharing, unity, and the joy of beginning life together as a married couple. As the evening continued, Maya and Arif danced together. Friends and family joined them, creating a circle of happiness and love. The music played, people clapped, and the room was filled with joyful energy. The couple felt surrounded by support and kindness, understanding that this day was about more than just them. It was about everyone who had come together to celebrate their love. Maya looked at Arif, her eyes shining. "We faced a small challenge today, but it made this moment even more special," she said softly. Arif nodded. "Yes, we stayed calm and kind, and now our happiness is brighter because of it." "I will always remember today," he replied. They held each other's hands tightly, feeling a deep connection that no one could take away. As the night came to an end, guests began to leave, giving hugs, kisses, and final words of congratulations. Maya and Arif waved goodbye, feeling thankful for everyone who had joined them. The hall gradually grew quiet, but the warmth, love, and joy from the day remained in the couple's hearts. Maya and Arif finally sat together, looking around at the decorated hall, the scattered flowers, and the faint glow of lights. Their hearts were full, and they knew that their wedding had been unforgettable. They had faced a small challenge, yet it had shown them the power of patience, kindness, and love. This day would remain in their memories forever as a true celebration of togetherness, happiness, and unity. Maya rested her head on Arif's shoulder. "I love you," she whispered. Arif smiled and whispered back, "And I love you." Today was perfect because we were together, and everyone we care about was with us. They sat quietly, holding hands, knowing that this was just the beginning of a happy journey together. Their hearts were full, their minds calm, and their spirits joyful. The day had been everything they dreamed of and more.